Okay, welcome back. This is Sanctum, our third development discussion. Already we can see some changes here. We got some nicer looking UI, and we had some sound in the background. I also added, if I turn this up, I added a little bit of audio on the UI, so I hope you can hear this. So we have little clicking sounds. Another difference that you'll notice is just for a cleaner UI look, I changed the animations on the buttons. So we went from having an actual button image and like a sprite swap to now we just have a nice clean text here that highlights blue when hovered on, turns black when clicked on, and we got those nice little clicks now. These look a lot better as well. I added some animations on the panels here, which is really cool too. So I think if I do this right, I can load up our scene, and it'll take me right into my little testing room, and I can show you guys what I've been working on. So already you can see I have my weapon scripts up, and that's because I modified and optimized all of my weapon scripts, did some bug testing on them, and I'm making them feel a little bit more like actual guns. Earlier, these variables, even though they existed, they weren't exactly working correctly, with the exception of bullet range. The speed wasn't really doing what I wanted it to do. It wasn't affecting the bullet's trajectory or speed. It was basically the velocity. Or I'm sorry, it is the velocity now, but earlier I was adding some sort of acceleration to the bullet, so that changed. Now we have a actual shot recoil, which I'm going to go into as soon as this scene loads. Okay, here we are. Alright, so it's better to see it while we talk rather than look at the script the whole time. So let me pick up all my guns. Okay, so the first major difference that can't unfortunately be seen on screen, I will show you the script though. Right now I'm switching weapons using the number pad, and now I'm using the wheel pad. And what's cool about the wheel pad is it scrolls like this, and once we go back into the scene view, I'll take you back and show you I'll show you the script for it and stuff and how it meshes. But so check out the bullet. So earlier the bullet was kind of spawning right out here, like randomly around the gun, and then shooting forward. So it was faking the recoil kind of. What I wanted was a random angle that came out of the gun, that was limited by a certain recoil spread that each gun has unique to itself, right? So just to show that, let's come up to the wall. It's the easiest thing to see, and I'm going to shoot a couple rounds. So you can already notice it's coming out of our gun, and it's shooting at random directions. If I switch to SMG, ignore the sound there. I was goofing around with the sounds earlier, and I forgot to change that. I swapped the recoil sound or the reload sound with the with the shooting sound. So when I reload, he shoots. The shotgun works the same as it used to. It's always going to give us a random spread of 15 bullets within a certain range. I know those look. There we go. Now we're getting something that look a little different. I just wanted to show you guys Let me lower this desktop audio. It might be a little bit too loud for you. I apologize if that was too loud. I didn't catch it early enough. But yeah. Alright, so the rifle is going to be changed up a little bit from what you guys were used to seeing. So our pistol now does moderate damage, and I'm spam clicking. If here, maybe you can hear. So you see that I could only shoot when the animation for me being done shooting is up, and that makes it look a lot more realistic. It feels a lot cleaner too. Same with this. Sorry about the sound, but it gets just that way with every single gun. I don't have any bullets left. But yeah, so when we're on the weapon wheel, you'll never be able to scroll to your knife. And the reason for that is because the knife isn't dealing damage to players, dealing damage to enemies in game. It's more of a utility tool that you're going to use later for different things. So let me exit out of the scene and go to game scene. And while that's loading, we can pull up some of these scripts just to show you. So this rate of fire now, it's let me go to the base class. This is now being handled here. I have some rate of fire logic, and I basically say like, hey, if we shoot for the first time, flip this little toggle and then set a timer for your when we can shoot again. And coincidentally, the timers for rate of fire are synced, I should say, with their respective animations. So if down the road I decide to give my player the ability to have any perks like a fast reload or something, it would just be a case of adding a multiplier to that variable and putting it on both the animator and his rate of fire. So no biggie. Where was the fire bullet? Because that's one more thing I wanted to show you, and this is good to know just in general. So the way I fixed that it was actually kind of easy once I figured it out. The direction I was using as an instantiation point, thinking that the rotation would follow it. So if I created this this rotation here, it's a vector, but I'm pointing the forward by this little function that Unity has, random inside unit sphere, and you multiply by that spread. So this by default is a radius of 5, and you multiply it by your amount that you want to zone in on, basically. So like how small of a circle, how small of a spread, or how big of a spread. I basically just swapped this with this. I had this going transformed out forward for my velocity, and then I had it instantiating in a random spot. So if this right here was my shot point, I had it instantiate here, say, and then shoot forward. And then by switching these two, I now have it instantiate on the shot point, and then I push it by the direction. So I set my velocity by this direction that we just created. So whatever this random point that it was going to point to, that's now the direction it shoots towards. And we're actually incorporating now our bullet speed and using velocity, like I said, and not the acceleration. So our scene should be loaded. Cool. Let's go to building. And before we go into any aesthetic changes, I should bring up our additions. So we have some fun additions. We have some fun enemy additions. Only 2. You've seen one of them, kind of. So there's 1. There's 2. Just proximity to like 6, so it's easier for you. I'll make it, I guess, like 8. Okay, so while I'm baking the scene, what was done was I created the Charred Walker. Now he still isn't going to react to fire or anything quite yet, but everything else is done. So he's going to wander around. Where is a? Okay, he basically is going to wander around until we come into his line of sight. Once we enter his line of sight, he'll start to pursue us until we get out of his pursuit range. At which point he'll stop to wander again. When he reaches us, he'll melee. This is our newest addition, and this is our hunter. The hunter's cool. I don't know why it's not showing this stuff, but he does have rigid bodies attached, but for some reason this doesn't want to show it. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Okay. So there it is. This is our hunter, and our hunter is the enemy that I said would be teleporting. I said that he wouldn't move, but I changed that because I was having some fun with that state machine that I showed you guys in the previous video. So let's just get right to it and play the game. I'll show you what these guys do, what I added. You'll probably notice some okay, so I got a little too close to him. Oh, bummer. Okay. Oh, no wonder. There we go. Sorry about that, guys. Alright, let's do this again. Okay, let's get our weapons. Ooh, did I not pick up my pistol? Cool. My favorite gun. So our walker, okay, he's gonna get close. Ooh, I'm getting pelted by these fireballs. Walker's trying to get close to us because he has vision. Let's take him down. Oh, the walker from the other room came and saw us. Okay. So one thing I added that I can show you on this walker are headshots. These guys now take headshot damage. They come up in yellow. See, 12.5 is the regular damage that my bullet just did. And then in yellow, 14.65 is our headshot damage. And then he ragdolls when he dies. So that's really cool. Oh, I don't want to scare you guys with that noise. You know what? Let's get our rifle out. It does the most damage. Okay, so you see he's pursuing me. And that's because I set his range to 6. So I'm going to let him pursue me until now. And as you can see, he stops. And he idles. And he'll just periodically throw a fireball at me because he's within range. Once I break range, he's going to continue to follow me and keep hurling these things. If I get close to him, he'll melee attack me, and he'll keep doing that until I die. Now you notice these blood decals, they're gonna go across all the enemies. So I know I have a T-rated cap, but there are some team games that have blood. It just doesn't have to be doesn't have to be a lot, and I could always turn it off. So get a little headshot on him. Another headshot on him. We could take him out. That was a weird bug. Oh, because of this canvas. Huh. That's a nice little bug that we just discovered together. Cool, guys. Okay, so you also notice just something cool that I want to show you is these the bullet impact is kind of hard to do on every surface, but it also works on our, well, that canvas keeps getting in our way, but it works on our buddy pretty well with the blood effects, which is pretty nice and pretty realistic as well. We have these targets here just set up for you guys to check out. What stuff looks like. I'm going to stop doing that because I don't want to scare you. Okay. We still can crouch and walk. We can sprint. We can jump on here. This doesn't necessarily work, but I'm just testing distances and jump distances for our player. And yeah, I'm experimenting with mantling, so I don't know, no promises, but we'll see if we can kind of fit that in as a feature. But yeah, so let's go into our menu because it was changed a little bit as well. So I kept this sprite swap on these buttons because I liked the idea of when they were clicked, they remained up while the menu was up. It was nice to be able to see like where you are. This I haven't done any work to, so it's still the, you know, just the basic block out. Probably going to look a lot different later. This I did change. We came out of the sprite swap to a dim, and now we have a red kind of color on the exit to main and exit to desktop because just in case you hover over it, you know, red means bad and people won't click on it by accident. And just to show you that those things are still here, exit to main menu, you know, no. Settings, nothing. Restart has a check. At least let me know. Okay. Now we can go into the part that I'm happy about. Here he is. Alright, let's turn this room off. Turn this guy back on. I guess I can bake again. It wouldn't hurt, right? Let me get my favorite little pistol and put it on the ground for just a visual sake. As you can see, I've updated the colliders as well to be a lot better. They were a sphere and there was a whole bunch of problems like that. So now it's just a box and it's much better. Still don't know if I want to keep doing the pickup, you know, over collision, or if I want to do pickup like over a mouse look, press use button type deal. But for now, we're gonna keep doing this. Let me make this scene really big. Oh, hold on 1 second. Okay. Show you some aesthetic changes. So our entry level is coming along very nicely. The aesthetic is looking great. I'm starting planning some, you know, AI stuff over here now, pathing, spawn points, stuff like that, because it's important. This is our first level. We got video monitors that work, they actually play videos. We got our ragdolls that were here from last time still. And we got our room, which looks much better, much more polished. I changed the colors around, added some stuff here as well. So let's give it a play so you guys can check it out. So I don't think with the amount of ammo I have, I'm going to be able to kill everyone here. So I'm going to try to just avoid them. As you can see, this video is really nice. I like it a lot. I'm happy that this works. We have a planet and stuff. The aesthetic of the room is really coming along nice. It's, you know, it's still indie, but it's a nice looking indie. 8 shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I guess. Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting to turn God mode on. And I don't have that damage flash indicator because I'm working on it to make it look better. Alright, no more dying. Let's just speed run through the level just to show you guys what it looks like and how it feels. These guys aren't even really here. I put their speed down by a lot just because I'm trying to just show you the level. So we have this really nice room. Let me turn stats on so you can see what I'm running at. So we got, you know, a nice little 50. A slight dip in this area just because of the lights. But, you know, nothing bad. Wrap around. There's going to be much more to fill in this area once I decide what to do in that. So I just need to see what the battle scenarios and stuff feel like. And yeah. So the frames definitely dip down a little bit in this area. I'm going to work on why. I'm getting killed again by everything. I'm going to work on why later. But we have this nice little room that's set up in a cool way. So, you know, we can run around and we have like this nice interesting kind of setup for enemies to kind of maneuver around in and stuff like that. Those guys are still wandering. I'll take you through my tunnel. The tunnel of doom. Okay, so we have a nice little tunnel here. Blocked off. Our classic little fractal windows, our little lab scan going on. And then we have this room, which is kind of a death trap if you get stuck here, which is no bueno. Probably going to add some monster spawns here, just for fun. But yeah, this is what the level's looking like so far. I'm pretty happy with it. That was good timing, so I was going to close it. Pretty happy with it, but still a lot more to go. So, go back to building. I want to show you an aerial view just so you, let's turn lighting and ceilings off. And turn that off too so you can really see what this looks like. Okay, just so you know, I'm not just throwing random stuff together. This is where we come in. We'll get our first weapon here. It'll be a pistol, and it'll be on a downed soldier. I'm just still looking for a model. You'll pick the pistol up off one of these downed soldiers, and you'll start to make your way through this scary-ass facility. You'll be walking around. You'll be introduced to your first and most basic enemies, these Charred Walkers. You know, I said earlier that you're going to set the aesthetic with these bodies and stuff. Come through here. This is kind of like a big open area, which is good because I'm going to save it for later when you kind of get through this level. This is meant to be a 3 or 4 stage area, so I want this to be open as a battle fight or a battle sequence later on. This in and itself will be one, as you saw earlier, they were set to slow, but like, and they were already causing me issues. When they're set to fast, it's a pain in the ass. So this is a nice little room that's set up in such a way we can run in and out, but you can't kind of weave in and out because we have blocked areas and stuff. This is still open, and I'm still building, like I said earlier. But this is basically what level 1's going to look like. Get through all of this, get through all of this, maybe add a little extension, call it a day, and we'll move on. Right, so not going to go too much in depth because I'm at 24 minutes again, but take a quick little peek at my enemy script just so you can see what's up with him. So we have our state machine as usual. Health logic, pre-pursuit logic, pursuit logic, and melee collision. So this is basically everything that he does. These are what are tracking his decisions and taking him in and out of states and stuff like that. And I mentioned what he does earlier with the, you know, staying within a certain range of you and all that kind of stuff. The only thing that's going to be added later on that you don't see here yet is this right here, a little sneak peek. Teleport away. So he is going to, as I mentioned in a previous video, he's going to be able to flee and jump when I'll even show you the animator controller. So at any given time, if we go to our pre-teleport layer, at any time, if he gets hit enough times or he gets pissed or scared, he's going to scream, turn around, run, and then jump and teleport to a random location. And just so you have a little sneak peek idea of what that's going to look like too. So he's gonna, you already see his walk and stuff, so he's gonna jump, and then at that point I'm gonna take his model off, replace it with the teleport visual effects, some sort of particle fit system, and then he will teleport to, like, say over here, since I guess in this he's facing this direction. He'd get hit somewhere over here, run over here, jump and teleport and land over here, and continue his normal behavior, just to add some spice. So yeah, a little bit bland, but it was a lot on the developer side this week, so I appreciate you guys watching, and I will see you next week.